Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of PlayFrugal Reviews. Tonight we're looking at 911 Operator from the good folks at Playway. And if that name sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've been watching our previous reviews of House Flipper and Car Mechanic Simulator 2015, which were also by Playway. And we came out with generally positive views of those. You can obviously feel free to check out those reviews both on YouTube here and on the website playfrugal.com to see more in detail what we thought about those. Now, this game we picked up from Humble for $4.01, and I'll kind of spoiler alert give you. We found it was actually worth the money, but we'll go through it and you can decide for yourself what you think about it. Basically, real quick rundown: you're a 911 operator. People call in, incidences come out, and you need to dispatch fire, rescue, or police officer or medics to each particular incident. And sometimes they come fast and furious, sometimes you got a little break between, but it's always seemingly random. Obviously they probably have some kind of algorithm, but each playthrough that we've been through has all been slightly different, with a slightly different variety of calls for each city that we've been to. And you start off with a very small town and you work your way up to the larger towns, which give you more variety. And without too much further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. And so you can kind of see for yourself rather than listening to me babble about what the game is. Let's take a look at it. So we'll go ahead and we'll go to Chicago, which we've already done on the Let's Play series. We've got, like I said, two episodes up so far. So if this is intriguing to you, then make sure you do go check out. It's on a playlist. And hopefully by the time you're listening to this, we may have additional episodes up. And you can see each one between each of these cities. They actually give you real first aid hints. Now you can apply them obviously to your own life, but also you'll use them in dealing with callers into your 911. And so you don't want to necessarily ignore them unless you're already familiar with all the steps that are required. Let's go ahead and get started. Now you've already got, and as we're going, I'll tweak these just a little bit so that we're ready to go rather than waste your time on figuring out all the different pieces. We've got a couple extra officers and whatnot. And you've got a variety of equipment available to you here. You've got police is blue, white's for medic, and red for fire. So I will go into each piece as we go through, but that's generally when you look at the map and you see red, it means that needs the fire department something. White, you need the medical crew something, and blue, police something. And we'll get started into our deployment, which is where you initially set up all of your units. I like to spread mine out. Now, this just happens to be where they start in this particular episode, and we'll just leave it there rather than waste time moving through deployment, because the object here isn't necessarily to do as best we can, but to give you a feel for what we're seeing. So we start the duty, and there's a clock going, and this is just radio chatter we're hearing in the background. All right, we have an incident. Large fire in a large building. People trapped inside. So large fire means we're going to send a pumper truck, perhaps a technical truck, but definitely an ambulance. So we've got crews responding, and as they respond, we'll go ahead and leave it on this incident here and see what happens. All right, so now it shows that a fire truck has showed up. We have a heavily injured person and a fire. So these guys are going to be working on the fire, and he will be helping out the injured party as we go. All right, so medic is on the team. There's the ambulance. You can see them, and you can see they're working on this guy and the fire truck. Okay, so he's leaving. We've got two medical emergencies here, and I didn't have a chance. Epilepsy attack and childbirth. So actually, that doesn't even need an ambulance. That was just a medical transport will handle that. All right, not sure. There we go. Now we're putting out the fire. Resolved in 30 seconds, under 30 seconds. All right, another incident. So you can see they start to pop up. And we've got a car accident cause must be determined. We'd probably just send a motorcycle officer over there to check that out. Usually those situations don't involve anybody being arrested. If they do, your motorcycle officers cannot transport. So you probably want to send squad cars or the van, depending on the situation. So far we haven't had any actual calls into 911. So in a way that we're kind of fortunate because okay, we got 2 armed suspects. And whenever you have multiple suspects, I like to send multiple police units because for whatever reason, shooting usually breaks out. And so we want to make sure that we have overwhelming force to go quickly. All right, they're getting locked up. 26 seconds, 46 seconds, ready to go. We have medical emergency here. Person has lost consciousness. And we'll just go ahead and send that ambulance there. All right, see, they've wrapped up their situation there. We'll redeploy him. And we're going through. You see the clock is running, so we're about a third of the way through our duty station. I've got it running on double speed here, so you can slow it down if this seems like too fast, or you can additionally speed it up as well. We've got a guy running against traffic. So let's send any of your traffic stuff, you want to send usually a police officer on motorcycle first because they can respond fastest and chase down a vehicle if necessary. All right, we've got another police incident here, and we've got 1 suspect with a drunk driver. And we'll go ahead and send that motorcycle police officer out there to aid that police squad car because if we've got a drunk driver, we're probably going to do an arrest and we'll need transport. How are we doing here? See there, he just wrote a ticket, moved on our way. We've got police over here. 1 armed suspect. So we'll send 2 squad cars. All right, these guys are way too far out of the center of town for my comfort. So we'll bring them back in a little bit. And he's a little off the map, so we don't want to forget we have him. So move him down a little bit. All right, now we have another car reported speeding. So let's find this motorcycle officer and send him that way. Because that one's just probably going to be a ticket writing exercise. And we'll move him over there. Now he's done. We've got another incident. And this is going to be another car accident situation. So let's just send the police officer on the motorcycle there. And you can see here, in 20 seconds, that'll be resolved. And having that is very useful when you figure out, what happens, sometimes these calls come in so fast and furious, you're short on resources. Car accident determining cause. So we'll get him going that way. And you're like, how long till I'm going to have someone available to go, transport a prisoner or to respond to this particular call. But overall, this is the experience that you can expect pretty much from every town. It's going to vary. Sometimes you get calls. We just need a technical crew here. But basically, you're looking at a screen, a map grid. Now, these are real-life map grids. These are actual. If you went to Chicago and look at a map, this is what it would look like. So they do actually use actual street maps and street names for the game. And in fact, when you load up the game, it will try to detect your location. And if it can, it will try to download a map for you that's local to your area, which is kind of a nifty. All right. So we've got 4 suspects, so we're going to need some backup on that situation because sometimes we're going to need. Let's go and send a squad car up that way. All right. And another incident, which we're responding to, driving through a red light. Yeah, so we're just going to write him a ticket, and he'll be done. So the question, so we get back to this, and the game is this, kind of variations of this. So responding to calls, taking 911 calls, etc. So if this is something that appeals to you, then yay, you're going to love this game because you're going to be doing a lot of it. But if this just looks boring or uninteresting to you, you will absolutely hate this game because, like I said, you're going to do a lot of it. Now, for us, we really do enjoy this kind of thing. So for us, it's a positive that we're doing that. But for you, it may be a negative, and that's like we talked about before. That's the beauty of gaming, is that there is no one single right or wrong. There is I like it and you don't, and our opinions vary. So, and that's okay. All right, so you can see we've got lots of guys here. We've got 4 guys who are getting, I don't know if they're getting transported. Looks like some fighting going on, so probably somebody's going to jail. Heart attack, immediate transport. Let's get the helicopter rolling. Or flying, depending on your perspective. And you can see we're almost done with our duty station, so once we get these particular incidences resolved, we'll be done. And then if we've done a good job, they'll promote us to the next city. If we've not, then we'll try again. But overall, like I said, I think this gives you a real good flavor of generally what the game is about without getting too deep into the weeds on the details. Now, to get to the nitty gritty of it, on the review, you can see the graphics are pretty simple, but I think that's exactly what you want from a game like this. If you tried to weigh it down with, every realistic detail of, cityscapes and satellite views and all that kind of stuff, I think it would be too much because you do kind of need to have a clear view. We'll try to resolve this faster by sending additional firefighters. So a nice, clean, and simple interface, which obviously it very much is. And the units are clearly marked. As you can see, it's click your unit, click to get there. So it's nice and easy to operate. There's no complicated controls, no big learning curve. It's probably something that, once you purchase the game, within 10 minutes you'll be up and running and feeling confident in the controls and the use of the game. It may take you longer than that to get used to actually doing the dispatching and things like that, but in any case, so here's what you get at the end of the city. You get a report. It tells you whether or not you successfully resolved it and how many reputation points you got for resolving it. And you can see our reputation was 43, 100% efficiency. It's in billing and hospitalized. So we got a total profit. Now each one you get a profit, and then you use that to buy additional police cars, additional ambulances or fire trucks, or hire more first responders, whatever. And that kind of is the process of the game. And like I said, going through all the little details, we really have to give this one a really good score. I'm going to have to give it a 9.5. It's under the $5 mark. So the value is really there. The replayability, like I said, each town, you can play the same city map 10 times and you'll get 10 different play experiences. They're all procedurally generated, so no 2 playthroughs are going to be exactly the same. And, the music isn't overtrusive. The kind of the radio chatter you're hearing in the background kind of thing adds to the feel of actually being in that room, taking those calls. So we really like it, but we'd really be interested also in what you think. And is this the kind of thing that appeals to you or not? So we can see, where we're alike, where we're different, and, kind of get that synergy going back and forth between us. We do appreciate you taking your time out to listen to our reviews and watch our playthroughs. That's always great, and it allows us to keep doing what we're doing. And so we thank you very much for that. If you do enjoy it, then please leave us a like and a subscribe so that we can make sure that we get more content that you like. And so until next time for Let's Play Frugal Reviews, thank you for joining us and enjoy.